Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about 10 things we don't know about COVID-19 vaccines. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Vaccination is a simple, safe, and effective way of protecting people against harmful diseases before they come into contact with them. It uses your body's natural defenses to build resistance to specific infections and makes your immune system stronger. Vaccines train your immune system to create antibodies, just as it does when it's exposed to a disease. However, because vaccines contain only killed or weakened forms of germs like viruses or bacteria, they do not cause the disease or put you at risk of its complications. Most vaccines are given by an injection, but some are given orally, by mouth, or sprayed into the nose. Here are some things we don't know about COVID-19 vaccines. Number 1. Is there a vaccine for COVID-19? Yes, there are now several vaccines that are in use. The first mass vaccination program started in early December 2020 and as of the 15th of February 2021, 175.3 million vaccine doses have been administered. At least 7 different vaccines, 3 platforms, have been administered. WHO issued an emergency use listing, EULs, for the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, BNT162b2, on the 31st of December 2020. On the 15th of February 2021, World Health Organization issued EULs for 2 versions of the AstraZeneca Oxford COVID-19 vaccine, manufactured by the Serum Institute of India and SK Bio. On the 12th of March 2021, WHO issued an EUL for the COVID-19 vaccine AD26, CoV-2, developed by Janssen, Johnson & Johnson, who is on track to EUL other vaccine products through June. The products and progress in regulatory review by WHO is provided by WHO and updated regularly. Once vaccines are demonstrated to be safe and efficacious, they must be authorized by national regulators, manufactured to exacting standards, and distributed. WHO is working with partners around the world to help coordinate key steps in this process, including to facilitate equitable access to safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines for the billions of people who will need them. Number 2. When will COVID-19 vaccines be ready for distributions? The first COVID-19 vaccines have already begun to be introduced in countries. Before COVID-19 vaccines can be delivered, the vaccines must be proven safe and effective in large, Phase 3 clinical trials. Some COVID-19 vaccine candidates have completed their Phase 3 trials, and many other potential vaccines are being developed. Independent reviews of the efficacy and safety evidence is required for each vaccine candidate, including regulatory review and approval in the country where the vaccine is manufactured, before WHO considers a vaccine candidate for pre-qualification. Part of this process also involves the Global Advisory Committee on Vaccine Safety. In addition to review of the data for regulatory purposes, the evidence must also be reviewed for the purpose of policy recommendations on how the vaccines should be used. An external panel of experts convened by WHO, called the Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization, SAGE, analyzes the results from clinical trials, along with evidence on the disease, age groups affected, risk factors for disease, programmatic use, and other information. SAGE then recommends whether and how the vaccines should be used. Officials in individual countries decide whether to approve the vaccines for national use, and develop policies for how to use the vaccines in their country based on the WHO recommendations. The vaccines must be manufactured in large quantities, which is a major and unprecedented challenge while continuing to produce all the other important life-saving vaccines already in use. As a final step, all approved vaccines will require distribution through a complex logistical process, with rigorous stock management and temperature control. Number 3. Will COVID-19 vaccines provide long-term protection? Because COVID vaccines have only been developed in the past months, it's too early to know the duration of protection of COVID-19 vaccines. Research is ongoing to answer this question. However, it's encouraging that available data suggest that most people who recover from COVID-19 develop an immune response that provides at least some period of protection against reinfection, although we're still learning how strong this protection is and how long it lasts. Number 4. How quick COVID-19 vaccines stop the pandemic? The impact of COVID-19 vaccines on the pandemic will depend on several factors. These include the effectiveness of the vaccines, how quickly they are approved, manufactured, and delivered, the possible development of other variants, and how many people get vaccinated. Whilst trials have shown several COVID-19 vaccines to have high levels of efficacy, like all other vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines will not be 100% effective. WHO is working to help ensure that approved vaccines are as effective as possible, so they can have the greatest impact on the pandemic. Number 5. What type of COVID-19 vaccines are being developed? Scientists around the world are developing many potential vaccines for COVID-19. These vaccines are all designed to teach the body's immune system to safely recognize and block the virus that causes COVID-19. Several different types of potential vaccines for COVID-19 are in development, including inactivated or weakened virus vaccines, which use a form of the virus that has been inactivated or weakened, so it doesn't cause disease, but still generates an immune response. Protein-based vaccines, which use harmless fragments of proteins or protein shells that mimic the COVID-19 virus to safely generate an immune response. Viral vector vaccines, which use a safe virus that cannot cause disease but serves as a platform to produce coronavirus proteins to generate an immune response. RNA and DNA vaccines, a cutting-edge approach that uses genetically engineered RNA or DNA to generate a protein that itself safely prompts an immune response. Number 6. What are benefits of getting vaccinated? The COVID-19 vaccines produce protection against the disease, as a result of developing an immune response to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Developing immunity through vaccination means there is a reduced risk of developing the illness and its consequences. This immunity helps you fight the virus if exposed. Getting vaccinated may also protect people around you, because if you are protected from getting infected, and from disease, you are less likely to infect someone else. This is particularly important to protect people at increased risk for severe illness from COVID-19, such as healthcare providers, older or elderly adults, and people with other medical conditions. Number 7. Who should get the COVID-19 vaccines? The COVID-19 vaccines are safe for most people 18 years and older, including those with pre-existing conditions of any kind, including autoimmune disorders. These conditions include hypertension, diabetes, asthma, pulmonary, liver, and kidney disease, as well as chronic infections that are stable and controlled. If supplies are limited in your area, discuss your situation with your care provider. If you have a compromised immune system, are pregnant or nursing your baby, have a history of severe allergies particularly to a vaccine, or any of the ingredients in the vaccine, are severely frail. Number 8. Can we stop taking precautions after being vaccinated? Vaccination protects you from getting seriously ill and dying from COVID-19. For the first 14 days after getting a vaccination, you do not have significant levels of protection, then it increases gradually. For a single-dose vaccine, immunity will generally occur 2 weeks after vaccination. For 2-dose vaccines, both doses are needed to achieve or required to provide the highest level of best immunity possible. While a COVID-19 vaccine will protect you from serious illness and death, we still don't know the extent to which it keeps you from being infected and passing the virus on to others. To help keep others safe, continue to maintain at least a 1 meter distance from others, cover a cough or sneeze in your elbow, clean your hands frequently and wear a mask, particularly in enclosed, crowded or poorly ventilated spaces. Always follow guidance from local authorities based on the situation and risk where you live. Number 9. Is the vaccine safe for children? Vaccines are usually tested in adults first, to avoid exposing children who are still developing and growing. COVID-19 has also been a more serious and dangerous disease among older populations. Now that the vaccines have been determined to be safe for adults, they are being studied in children. Once those studies have been completed, we should know more and guidelines will be developed. In the meantime, make sure children continue to physical distance from others, clean their hands frequently, sneeze and cough into their elbow and wear a mask if age appropriate. Number 10. Should I be vaccinated if I have COVID-19? Even if you have already had COVID-19, you should be vaccinated when it is offered to you. The protection that someone gains from having COVID-19 will vary from person to person, and we also don't know how long natural immunity might last. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, hit that subscribe button before you go.